Peter Walsh, Deputy Opposition Leader. Thanks for joining us on Flow.
Pleasure, Ricky.
It's a difficult day for Victorians in regional Victoria in particular, but across the whole state, another lockdown's been imposed. You're not too happy with the Premier's hypocrisy on this one?
Well, people right across Victoria are just devastated by what was announced last night, and particularly the speed that it was announced and the reason it was announced. There is absolutely no logic to a whole state lockdown because of an outbreak in a particular suburb in Melbourne. The response should be proportional. A lockdown should be a last resort, and they should be by postcode or by local government area. To have places locked down again that are 500-600 kilometres away from the outbreak just is absolutely ridiculous, and I think Victorians are just devastated, and they are over it. They are just seriously over it. The phone ran hot last night with people who run restaurants, run businesses, throwing out food because they've done their orders for the weekend, how they're going to pay their rent, all the issues that come up every lockdown. And the lockdowns are almost becoming a monthly event now, and people just cannot survive financially or mentally.
And we were noticing a number of the sporting leagues were looking forward to getting back out on the field and the netball courts this weekend, and even at training they were finding out, well, it's actually not happening. It's pretty devastating.
It is worse than devastating. It is just absolutely horrendous for community support, for businesses, for families, for children not going to school again. The mental health issues that are coming out of this are just horrendous. As I talk to some of the medical providers in my electorate, they're saying we haven't got an issue with COVID. We've actually got an issue with mental health because people are just suffering so much because of the uncertainty and the continual lockdowns.
And you mentioned in your statement you put out just about off the back of that lockdown announcement about the hypocrisy of the Premier. He was saying Sydney should have locked down to protect regional residents. Why hasn't he done that here?
Exactly. The Premier is very good at giving free advice to his interstate rivals, and tragically, I think it is just a competition. He is trying to be tougher than anyone else in Australia, and I just don't think it's working, and I think it's causing more harm than is good for all Victorians, but particularly for regional Victorians, that we're just seeing communities that actually haven't had a COVID outbreak for the whole pandemic are being locked down again, and the businesses and the communities and the schools and the sporting clubs are suffering because of it.
And Peter, you say you've had a number of people contact your office. What's the best advice you've found to give people to help them get through yet another lockdown?
Well, it is to be understanding and to listen, and I just cannot support the government's position on this. I have to explain to people that our side of politics, the opposition, believes that responses to COVID outbreaks should be proportional. Lockdown should be a last resort, and it should be done on postcodes or local government areas so that communities that are hundreds of kilometres away aren't actually impacted.
Well, Peter, all the best supporting your electorate and communities across a difficult week this week.
Thanks, Ricky.
And if you are in crisis or need to talk with someone, please contact Lifeline on 131114.